Baldur's Gate 3 has incredible combat. However, there isn't a true tank of the game until now with the Valiant class mod made by Avyre, who previously made the Elementals class mod. This comes with a bunch of unique effects, as you can see here, like the raised shields, which makes you a priority target to the enemies, and this will goad enemies into attacking you. Previously, there was the Battlemaster fighter who has the ability to goad, but it didn't really work out the way we wanted to, and this changes everything with a ton of unique abilities, which I'll be breaking down in this video. This is a very exciting class. There's also two other subclasses, but I'll be mostly focusing on the Bulwark subclass of the Valiant, and yeah, it's really cool. It revolves around using your shield. You get these different auras similar to a Paladin to protect your team as well. And it's just got a lot of very fun abilities to it. So I'll first show off all the things that we can do in combat here. So I'm just first going to buff up the team. This makes it so that everyone heals for the maximum amount of heals, which will buff up your clerics as well. This one makes it so you take only half damage for spells within the aura, and there's also some other auras that will increase saving throws and much other things. So just to break things down, we want to get our raised shields up first. So just to start off combat here and get things going, just to show off how powerful this defensive tank can be. Now, the way that tanking works in Baldur's Gate 3, it's a little bit different because it's based on your armor class. Now, there's even some cool reactions here, like the intercept, which allows you to take on an enemy's attack and give them resistance to the all damage types. So this is the ultimate defensive character because you can help out with protecting your team and keeping them alive. It's a really fun one in general as well. Now, this is partially due to the raised shields ability here, which allows you to gain towering defenses on your teammates. This decreases our armor class. Right now I'm rolling with 26 armor class. It needs to reduce our armor class to make it so that it targets us, because you see there they were jumping Gale because he has the lowest armor class here. So it's and Shadowheart too, so they both get attacked. Typically the AI will always target whoever has the lowest armor class. So when we do our raised shields ability here, this gives the towering defense, so then our armor class is lowered, our teammates armor class is increased, but our health is also increased quite a bit as well, so that we're able to survive this. We also have some fun abilities, which I'll break down all the different abilities. There's actually a ton of them. The ones that you see here, I only selected a number of them because there's just so many of them. So this makes the Divine Guardian basically, which is a cleric spell, but it's nice to have. This is just a single ability here to help out with your overall defensiveness. We can also add some different elemental abilities to our attacks, which you saw there, but yeah, we got some cool things like Priority Target Aura, which toggles on to check the priority radius of target enemies. You can see this, whenever you put this on, it'll let you know if you're their priority and if you're going to be the one that gets attacked by them, which is pretty cool. There's not a lot of, there's actually no other classes that I've seen that actually have this level of tanking with it. And now, as you can see, they're targeting my character over priority on other characters here. This class does work well if you have other means of crowd control as well, since you can get overwhelmed. But you can see sometimes it's not perfectly going to attack just you, but there's some other abilities that we got that'll direct attacks towards us. So this target here has the goaded on them, which means they're just going to go ahead and attack us. And what's nice is you can set up with your Guardian Faith nearby just to keep yourself alive, but the targets that are goaded are going to come directly for us over our other teammates, which is perfect. As you can see, this is working perfectly because we have pretty much all the enemies surrounding us now. And we do some cool things like a goading throw, which will throw our spirit shield at the enemies. And we also have like a shield slam, which lets us slam with a bit of extra radiant damage. And this is cool because we can goad targets in an area of effect around us. I guess I don't have the spirit shield set up at the moment here. Can only be casted, so I kind of forgot to set that up. We also have some cool abilities like the Quaking Shout, which we can do a huge pushback on everyone that surrounds us, which they're very likely to surround us. So this is nice because you can just go ahead there and push none of them away there. I don't know why I didn't end up actually pushing anyone. Oh, there we go. Delayed reaction. So yeah, this is very, very strong with what it can do, and defensive abilities are unmatched. We also have this taunting rush attack here, which you can rush forwards and taunt every enemy in a range around you. What's also cool about the elemental imbues, it actually changes your full damage type to whatever damage type that you choose. But taunting rush is nice because we can rush ahead here, goading two different targets at once or just taking them out outright. So yeah, this class is all about grabbing the enemy's attention and making them come towards us. There's also some other fun abilities like Shield Spikes, which reflects any damage you take back to the enemy as force damage. We also got the Rending Stun, which can stun targets, make them not able to act on the next turn. This is great against any type of caster that can kind of overpower you in different ways, as well as there's a Silencing Rush attack here, which we can use to silence enemies. So as they'll hold the line, you cleave through enemies, slashing at them and dazing them. This can hit up to 5 enemies at once. What's cool about this is depending on how you're moving and how you're set up, you can actually get a lot of enemies with this. So We'll just go with it right here to hit a couple enemies, and we'll roll our critical hits off on them, dazing the targets as well. So if you have someone that can drop hold person on them, it's going to land much more likely. So a lot of really fun abilities with this that I very much enjoy. We also have this piercing phalanx attack here, which will do pure radiant damage plus our weapon damage, which is cold right now. And if the enemy is killed within 3 turns, you get temporary health points equal to your class level in the Valiant plus your wisdom modifier. So we're going to try and take this target out here, see if we can get that extra health, and we did, which gave us 18 additional health, which was really nice. That helps out a lot when you're going to be tanking often with this class. Another nice thing is because of our healing ward, we're actually going to be very nice with a cleric, because then they can always heal and recover the maximum amount of health. So that 29 from mass cure wounds is really, really nice. The rending stun is also a really nice attack because it can stun a target, and when they're stunned, they just won't act. Or, you know, you can take them out entirely and then they won't act either. You can also get an extra attack on here, but I forwent that and got ourselves more defensive options, which we'll cover in just a moment. And to finish them off, we'll use the shielding wave here, which uses does force damage and attacks the enemy, knocking them prone. So you do have to get up in their face, but this is nice because whenever you have a ton of enemies coming at you, you can just smack them with your shield there and hopefully not get a critical miss. Instead, we'll use stunning slam. So this does our weapon damage plus additional cold damage. It's supposed to be bludgeoning, but it'll take whatever damage type that your weapon is with the elemental imbue there. This will stun targets as well and knock them prone. So you can go ahead, hit them with your shield here. It's actually using your sword. So yeah, very, very fun. You do want to have your spear shield up though. This is what's going to give you a link between your shield. I should have applied that before combat. I forgot completely to do that. And it also will make your shield nice and glowy there. So whenever we have our spear shield up, we're able to throw our shield too, which will goad enemies to attacking us. So we have like that goading throw there, which we can use, and throwing our spirit shield at the enemy. We also got the shield slam attack there. Unfortunately can't get in the range there to be able to hit them with that, but we'll get them next turn. So we'll use our goading throw here. I kind of messed up. You do have to select your shield, and it's going to throw your shield as an item, which is hilarious, almost Captain America-esque. And you want to use it on a target that's going to have the highest chance of being there to get attacks on them. It does use up your full action there, so it's just something to keep in mind. But we can also go with our raised shields here again to goad every enemy around us into attacking us. You can see there, they're all now goaded. So they were going to go for my team, and yeah, I guess they may still go for the team there. Yeah, I guess Gale is very attractive a target for them to go after, but typically they're going to have a higher % chance of still going for your character there. So that's really nice in with that. And yeah, you can see there they're goaded, but they may not go right for us unless we do some attacks against them. When enemies are in a group like this, we can go with a hold the line or the shielding wave attack. So this is going to cause them all to become aggroed on us, or it'll take them out entirely. And it can potentially daze them as well, which is really nice because then you can land hold person more likely. One thing I like about the Quaking Shout is sometimes you get lucky and can knock people right off of the ledge. All right, we'll just wait for that delayed reaction to see if we got ourselves a knockout, and we did. Perfect. We also have this Taunting Strike, which will goad enemies as well, and it uses the icon for the bear with the goading attack that they have. So we'll just draw that attack there. That's fine. What's cool is you can actually draw the opportunity attacks and then use shield spikes to reflect attacks back at them. The imbued shield after main attack follow up with a shield strike imbued with power. So you can also do a shield attack afterwards on an enemy. I don't have enough movement speed to be able to pull that one off, but yeah, sometimes when they're goaded, they're still going to want to attack Gale. That's kind of, but you can see there, they came for me afterwards for some reason. And then this will allow us to just finish them off here with one more attack. Or we can just use our shield spikes here to give ourselves that reflection attack, which is nice. For some reason, he just skipped his turn. He got up right in my face and just skipped his turn. So sometimes things don't always work the way we want. We'll just use our shield spikes again and see if that makes him want to attack us. And there we go. We just took him out that way. So yeah, I'll now show off the class progression and the different skills that you get. So the Valiant, I was showing the Bulwark subclass, which is here, the tanking one. There's also the Maelstrom, which gives you fire and radiant damage, or the Serpent, which will give you poison damage, but we'll be focused on the Bulwark here because this is the true tank. So this gives us the raise shields ability, as I mentioned, giving you decrease the armor class, but increase your overall health, and it'll increase the defense of our teammates. This is one of the prime mechanics to make so that it goads enemies into attacking us, but it's not perfect, as you saw there. It will work a bit better if you have teammates. Like, I don't have my teammates min-max for this, but you get your raised shield charges, which is going to bolster your defenses. You get thick armor. Heavy armor and shield provide an extra layer of defense, giving you +3 base health points. And you also get a spellcasting modifier of dexterity. And you get some cool combat styles like the Spear Mastery, which gives you equipped +2 damage to spear attack rolls, or Cloak and Dagger, which makes daggers and short swords use a higher armor class or a higher damage die. As we continue to level up, there's a very large amount of unique abilities. This is similar to the elementalist that they've created. We get hyper focus, goaded enemies take an additional 1 to 4 radiant damage from your attacks. And we also see the shield slam, empower your shield with radiant energy, slamming them, doing bludgeoning and radiant damage. And if you have towering defenses up, you create a radiant explosion within 4 meters, apply goaded to all enemies near your target. This also works well with radiating orb gear because you can create a bunch of attack roll minuses, and it's not even that hard. So the goading throw here, that's what I use. It'll throw your shield and make it do a goading explosion, goading enemies around your initial target. There's also the spirit shield, which creates a link between you and your shield, and then you can throw it with its ability there, and it'll return to your hands. We also get different frontline styles here, so whenever you raise your shields, all nearby allies gain ready defenses, gaining +2 armor class, or you can do the two-handed blocking, which whenever you use rage shields, it will using a pike, halberd, or glaive. You forego the innate defenses and skills that require shields, so you can use a two-handed weapon to block as well. I like to buff up my teammates with that ability there, as it's going to make them less likely to get hit. And then we also get the taunting rush, which will knock enemies off balance and taunt them. You can see again that bear attack there. That's the goad mechanic that's used on the Beastmaster Ranger's bear. But you can see we got a lot of cool abilities. So I showed off this one, which does radiant damage, and they'll give you temporary health points. Hold the line, doing attacking 5 different targets and dazing them. Rally defenses can give 3 allies temporary health point with a bolstering cry. Defender's command, you can direct 2 allies to attack, and they use a reaction on their next turn to do an attack, dealing additional damage, similar to the one you get from the Battlemaster Fighter. Shielding wave, ready your shield and force it forward, doing force damage and knocking targets prone. We also have the Defender's Radiance, causing all your attacks to do additional radiant damage, and potential to daze enemies. Daze makes it easy to crowd control them. And then we also have the Terrifying Roar, which can terrify enemies in an area and chill them to their bone so they cannot receive healing. And then also the Immovable Wall. Dig in and become an immovable wall of steel. You cannot be moved against your will, gain +2 armor class, and enemies that attack you get weakened grip. So you can really debuff enemies in a quick succession with this. All the abilities are cool. You can't select them all, which is nice because it encourages different builds. Raised shield charges will replenish on a short or long rest as well. You can get, again, you can see the extra attack or the sturdy feat. If you have shield equipped, you get the effects of towering defense and enemies or teammates will reduce their damage taken by 2. And you can also do a shield follow-up attack. So it's kind of like your extra attack, but a little different. We also get the priority target here, level 6. Enemies in a large radius will come goaded when you raise your shields. And then also the priority target aura. Enemies that are targeted by this will turn blue. As I mentioned, goading doesn't 100% guarantee that they'll attack you, but it's an increase. We get some different auras, and we get 2. So this one, you and nearby allies get additional 2 damage dealt with melee attacks. Warding aura will make it so you take half damage from spells, and the protective aura will give you a bonus equal to your saving throws equal to charisma constitution modifier. So if you have the amulet of constitution, there's a +6 to saving throws. Very nice. We get mastery charges here, which have a bunch of different abilities. So disarming ones, which will disarm enemies. Silencing can silence the enemies. Line breaker does thunder damage up to 6 enemies, and you can struck forward in a line. It's kind of like thunderbolt for weapon attacks. Erupting darkness, whenever you take an enemy, you can create a darkness cloud on the enemy. I love this one. Slamming shove, playing your weapon into the ground and uses to shove enemies away. Another note on this, darkness is great for your team to hide out in, so you can create that and have them hide out. Absorptive strike, smash a foe, absorbing their vitality and healing your wounds, so you can heal yourself with attacks. Rending one, which will stun the enemy. Shadowed silence, which will add your proficiency bonus to damage, and it's done as poison, and then does additional psychic damage, doesn't break concealment, so you can keep hidden while using that. Elemental Imbue, awesome, because you can make your weapons damage type whatever you choose. This is especially nice with cold damage because you can use the ring, snowburst ring to create ice surfaces below them. Or if you have a create water setup, you can make it lightning or cold and double the damage there. Critical puncture. If you deal critical hit, you no longer use a bonus act. You can use a bonus action for do a bonus attack for no cost. Divine barrier reflects radiant damage to any enemies that attack you. And we also have the divine reverence. Allies receive +2 to attack rolls, 3 meters extra movement speed, and 10 temporary health. Transfer strength, you receive a -4 to your strength, and you can give it to someone else in your team. This does require concentration. I like these that make you a little bit weaker in exchange for something else. We also got Lucky Strike. Pray for Lucky Strike and swing your weapon wildly at the target. You have a 50% chance of each element being added to your damage with a 1d4, which is kind of cool. And then also the Channel Mastery. Spend a mastery charge to channel your expertise and mastery into your forebear. You gain a random effect, adding elemental damage to your attacks for 3 turns. And then you also choose attack or defense, giving you a radiant weapon, doing additional radiant damage on your attacks and ignoring resistances to it. And raised shields can also give advantage on intelligence, charisma, and charisma saving throws, and will now take reduced elemental damage. So you can really buff up your team, as I mentioned, with this class, which is awesome. You also get another combat focus, which will give you a +2 to each of these stats that you choose. Constitution will actually give you a additional health whenever you level up as well. And you can get an attack or defense. So the Banishing Light here will do radiant and force damage and banish the target. Faithful defenses would give you the Guardian of Faith, which I think is really nice as a bonus action ability. And then we also get ourselves the feat, obviously. At level 9, you get Unending Masteries. You get a +1 in 3 chance to refund a mastery point whenever you cast them. And you get another mastery point, and you get to pick another mastery here. So as you can see, there's a lot of things. Now, this is the Bountiful Aura I talked about. This gives you immunity to Bone Chill, and you heal for the maximum amount whenever you heal. And there's also the Shadowed Aura, which you and any nearby allies have a reduced critical hit threshold, and your attacks may cause bleeding. So you can become more offensive or defensive depending on how you want to build around this. I think that's incredible. Let's get more attack or defense, so critical hit protection, unable to be hit by crits. Extended reach, you have modified your technique. Your attacks with melee range is doubled, huge. Keep attacking. At 3 stacks, you deal additional 1d6 of force damage. Every time you attack, you get bonus to your attack rolls. Shield Lunge will do force and radiant damage on a throwing shield, and you can use a raised shield to teleport to the target that you hit. And Intercept, which makes it so that you can take an attack for a teammate and grant them resistance to physical damage types. Really nice. I like the extended reach because you're going to be surrounded a lot. Sometimes you need to reach a priority target. Let's get the Quaking Shout at level 11, which is nice because you can push people off the ledge, which you saw, and Stunning Slam. Very, very effective. And at level 12, you get a Pinnacle ability. So the Shield Spikes, which I showed off, making any damage you take be returned to the user as force damage. Fast Hands will give you that extra bonus action. And the Faithful Resurrection, once you get hit and down, you come back up, and then you can make a powerful retaliatory strike. So as you saw there, so many cool benefits to this class. I am blown away by the level of detail on this. You also got higher level support here. We leveled up because we fought so many guards there. But yeah, this is cool because you can add so many different damage types to your weapons, and it's overall just very powerful. You can see there you can add a bunch of different elemental attacks with your Lucky Strike, which I think is really cool, seeing the different colors line up there. They have a 50% chance of striking there. You got your mastery charges, you got your raise shield charges, you are defensive. This is one of the coolest class mods that I've ever seen, and this was made by Avyre. Go download it. It was released yesterday, only 100 downloads. This needs to be 100,000. It is an amazing class mod with so much different variety here. This is the true tank in Baldur's Gate 3. We never really had one other than barbarians and battlemaster fighters kind of filling the role, but this one is actually directed at being a tank, using some of the abilities that you get from the bear if you were a Beastmaster. So like Minsk, for example, the Beastmaster companion, if you summon in the bear companion, it can be somewhat of a tank, but it's not as tanky as we are with ours. It has that goading roar there, which again, it'll goad enemies. Goading is not perfect, but it will direct more attacks towards your character. As you can see, we're covered in blood because we were just attacking so much. So yep, this is really cool. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next one.